Good morning, Sean Hogue.
Hello, Joshua.
You have a change of scenery this morning.
Yeah, when you get notified that Penelec is doing some maintenance and that your power is going to be out all day, you find another place to go.
So where are you? Where are you this morning? Give a
I am
little
at
plug.
Radius, which is like a co-working space here in Erie, which is really kind of where we work out of. So it's actually nice to be back. We haven't really been back since the shutdown. People are.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh, we might have lost Sean. All right, well, I'll fill the silence. Sean is at Radius, so yeah, that's where Sean, we lost you for a minute. Are you back?
Yeah, if I'm going in and out, I may just let you take the reins.
Okay, well, I'll just talk about Radius real quick here. So, yeah, Radius is a co-working space in Erie. A lot of you from Erie are probably familiar with it. Sean Fedorko down there has done a fantastic job keeping that co-working space going, even through everything that's been going on. Has been fantastic about communicating. Just a great environment. It's when we talk about building community, that's a great example of community where I'm sure Sean Fedorko won't mind me sharing this, but this is one of the things that drew me back to Radius. I had a membership there before, and I was paying my dues every month, but I wasn't showing up. And Sean actually sent me an email and said, "Hey, Josh, we're very community driven. If you're not able to make it in often enough, maybe you want to reconsider paying your membership every month." And he was basically in a very nice way. And I have nothing but great things to say about Sean, but he, in a very nice way, was saying, "Hey, this is a community and you're not being part of it." That is such a powerful statement to say, like, listen, we're a community. And even though you're paying your money, you're not showing up to be a part of the community. And that's really what this is about. So I think that speaks volumes for what Radius is trying to do. Sean's having a little trouble with his internet. So you guys are stuck with me this morning on video, but Sean will be in the chat interacting with you guys as well. So a few things. We're going to talk about some interesting news items that I came across. So one thing I found, and this is going to speak to kind of innovation and how big companies are now being forced to innovate. And I read an article this week that Walmart is doing two things. One is they're having a free kids camp, summer camps. They're digital, and they're having celebrities like LeBron James come in and teach your kids how to exercise properly, and like Drew Barrymore come in and teach you how to do makeup properly. So it's really interesting that you have a company the size of Walmart, and they partner with these other organizations that normally charge for these summer camps, and they made them free. I think there's two things I want to point out. One, it's awesome that these big companies that have the finances to do this are supporting their communities. And you can argue that it's marketing, or you can argue that it's anything, other than pure, but here's the reality. They're providing summer camps for free to a lot of kids that wouldn't otherwise have them. And that's awesome in my mind. The other thing is big companies are starting to innovate. The other thing Walmart is doing is they're turning 160, I believe it's 160 of their parking lots into drive-in theaters. Again, partnered with an organization that typically does this, and they're offering drive-in movies at Walmart parking lots. And so the reason I point out that big companies are starting to innovate is this is something that small companies can be doing all the time. Big companies are normally very hesitant to do it. But in times like this, even the big companies are buckling down, and they're really starting to dive into innovation. And I think for small companies, this should put a little bit of fear in our hearts, but it also should relight the fire that we have for our business, because we can't sit back and just give up and not innovate. Even the big companies are doing it now, and they're usually very slow moving ships. We need to, get our butts in gear and get out there and keep doing what we set out to do in the first place. Another interesting news story is you've heard us talk a lot about TikTok. I believe last week it hit the news that India, the country of India, is planning on banning TikTok. because there's some military tension between China and India, and TikTok is a Chinese company. Now, some of the articles that I've read, TikTok claims to be incorporated in the Cayman Islands, but it's very well known that it's actually produced out of China. And so India, who I believe has the largest user base on TikTok at millions and tens of millions, they're talking about planning to ban the app so that nobody in India can use TikTok. So here's the thing. There's also a few articles about the US potentially banning TikTok. The reality is the platform is the same. And I wouldn't encourage you guys to jump off of TikTok if you're on there. It's not like there's a ton of security violations or anything like that. That's not what they're talking about. It's purely a political move, it seems. But also TikTok is a learning platform for us. When we're creating content, you're learning how to do video. That is a skill that you can take and apply to other platforms as well. So just so you know, some of the news that's on the horizon. So Walmart back in the innovation game, and India looks like they're going to ban TikTok, which is, again, a very interesting move from it'll be very interesting to see how that all plays out. And I believe that the article from Forbes said that they could lose out on $6 billion in revenue. $6 billion in revenue. TikTok could if India goes through with banning the app. So it'll be interesting. We'll keep an eye on that and let you know how it goes. So there is one thing I want to touch on from the last show that we had. We said something on the show that was just a little bit out of line. And we'd mentioned the statement that, I'm a slave driver. Okay. And I want to touch on this because I think this is where we need to lean in. So it was said on the show. We've talked about it internally. Sean said it. Sean, to his credit, came to me afterwards and was like, man, I can't believe I said that. And so we want to address it. And we want to apologize to anyone that was offended. If you want to have a personal conversation, reach out. If you know us, you know that we're open to that conversation. But I want to point out this point as well, is that we're all going to say things that are wrong. And I'm not making an excuse. That's not an excuse at all. But it's about how we handle it after the fact. And we want to have those conversations. I want to personally apologize to anyone that was offended. Sean and I talked internally. Our team talked internally about it. And that, to me, is where the real change comes from, where we can sit down and we can say, you know what, we screwed up. We're not going to pretend like we didn't. We messed it up. We're going to sincerely apologize. And we are sincere in our apology. And we're going to talk about it internally to see how do we make sure that doesn't happen again in the future. And I'm telling you this for two reasons. One, again, because we want people to know that we actually have empathy towards that. And it was something that slipped out of our mouths that shouldn't have. But also, I encourage you guys to do this. This is, again, where real change comes from. Having difficult conversations, admitting when you messed up, and being open to having a conversation about it. So I don't want it to be too heavy, but it's also very important. So I definitely wanted to address that. All right, so we're going to talk today. We've had a lot of interest in, first, I forget this every single time. Sign up for the email list, ghostcreative.com/live. You guys can get the emails that come out once a week. We'll have resources in them. And it's another way that we can stay connected. So make sure you sign up for the email list, ghostcreative.com/live, and join us on the shows every Tuesday and Friday at 9 a.m. All right. Let's get into the real show now, talking about Canva. Canva is a tool that we've talked about quite a bit. We haven't really dug into it for you guys, but we've mentioned it. We use it for content creation. We've mentioned that, it's an invaluable tool for small businesses. There's a very, very deep free version of it that we'll get into. But we wanted to actually open Canva for you, let you see what it is, let you see how we're using it. Give you some tips on how we would recommend that you use it, and really encourage you to get out there and try it if you're trying to create any content whatsoever. And I hope that you are. So let me see if I can bring this up here on my screen. That's not right. That's right. Okay. So when you go to canva.com, this is kind of the interface you see. Now, we already have our account created, so we're logged in here. But generally, when you go to Canva, this is what you're going to see after you create your account. Ours is mucked up a little bit because we have, a bunch of stuff already created. But here's the power of Canva. I'm going to tell you a brief background on Canva and then tell you what they do now and why we love it so much. And just to be clear, we are not a Canva affiliate. We don't do any affiliate programs because we want to be able to give you good advice. And if Canva changes their model and we don't think it works anymore, we don't want to be still recommending it just because we're making money off of it. So we're not. We refuse to do that. And so Canva started because there was some lady in Australia and her mom was a teacher and her mom was also in charge of putting the yearbook together. Okay. And she saw her mom year after year fret over putting the yearbook together. And what she realized was there has to be a better way to put together a yearbook so that it's not so tedious. And so she went out and created a software program that allowed her mom to organize a yearbook, fancy it up, put some graphics in it, and print it. And so she created this application, and then it spiraled into, they actually went and got printing equipment, and they were printing yearbooks out of their living room. Okay, I believe it was her and her boyfriend that were doing it. And so this beautiful tool that we use today that doesn't look anything like a yearbook creation tool was started to create yearbooks. And here's the thing, guys, I want to point this out because you're going to see where Canva is today and see how far it's come from just a company that could print a yearbook. And I want to encourage you guys to continue to look for new ways to innovate, to transition your business so that you can improve. Canva would not be where it is today if they weren't willing to say, you know what, maybe we can do more than just yearbooks. Okay, so let's look at what Canva does now. If I land on the Canva homepage, so canva.com, the very first thing I want you guys to look at is just creating a design, because here's the real power of Canva. When I go to create a design, you can see they already have all of these things in here. I don't know if you can see it on my screen, so I'll just go through a couple of them, but you can create a pre-formatted Instagram post, Facebook post, event cover, a presentation, flyers, posters, infographics, brochures. It goes on and on. Business cards, anything you can imagine is now in here, all the way down to invoices, report cards, lesson plans. They have it all in here. I'm going to pick a fairly straightforward one just so we can talk through it. So when you create an Instagram post, it automatically, if you know anything about Instagram, Instagram likes square posts. So it automatically creates this template for you that is the right size. Now that's helpful, but it's not that helpful. But comparing it to like if you're going to do this in Photoshop and you got to go in and create your canvas size, or if you try to do this in like Microsoft PowerPoint or something like that, just creating a square canvas is not always the easiest thing to do. But here's where Canva really shines, is all of these templates over here. I can select any of these. So I could select, for example, it's not autumn, but oh, how about this? Cozy up with coffee. That's a good one for us. And it drops this entire template in the on the page for me. And I can go in here and change this text. So bear with me while I type here, but I can go in here and change this text and adjust the size of it. And if I wanted to, I could change the image. I'm not going to do all of that right now, but I just want you to see a little bit of this. We can say every Tuesday and Friday at 9 a.m., right? If we want to increase that text size, we can do that. I'm not going to go too far down the design path, but what I want you to see is this post. Now, if I posted this on Instagram, this is a really, really beautiful post that I did no work, well, very little work for, because Canva did the work for me, created the template, dropped the template text in there. I'm just able to go in and change it. And if you look, there are thousands and thousands of templates that you have to choose from, literally thousands of templates that you have to choose from. You can even search them. So if I wanted to search for something like coffee, I could do that. And I can go in and I could change my template, add it as a new page. And so all of these templates I just searched are all just about coffee. They have this many just related to coffee, right? So whatever it is that you're working on, if you're in the makeup space or whatever it might be, Canva has templates designed for you. The images are in there. Some of these will be paid. So some of them, the image background will not be free. You have to pay $1 for it. But a lot of them, the image, everything is free. So I want you guys to understand that it takes a little bit of time to find the right templates, but it is worth the effort. Okay. And here's why. If I created a template like this, I'm going to go back to this one. Let me delete this guy. And I liked this template. I can very easily say every week when we have the show, we're going to post something similar to this. I can go in and duplicate this post. It creates exactly the same thing for me. And I could, if I wanted to, just drop a new image in there. So I can go to photos and I can search for coffee, and I could take this coffee image and I should be able to just drop it right in there. And now I have a new post, right? Same design, same layout, new post. Again, all these pages are square. So I can just go in and download these images, and now I have posts that I can use for Instagram, for Facebook, whatever it might be. So guys, when we talk about not being able to think of ideas for content or not being able to create content, I just created 2 posts that we could use for our show. Now, these are not on brand for our show. I understand that. But it's not any harder to create them on brand. It just takes me a little bit more time to get through it. And I'm trying to do this for you, not for us. And so I just went in and created 2 posts as I explained it to you guys in about 2 minutes. Okay. And I have 2 posts that I can post on Facebook. So this whole idea of I don't know what to post or it takes too much time to create the post, it's just not true. It doesn't take too much time to create the post if you're using Canva. Coming up with the ideas, sure, that takes time. I'll give you that. But it really, really, really is not a lot of time to create the post. Now, the one other thing I want to show you is I can download these as graphics. So I can just download both pages at the same time if I want, or I can go in and select each one. I can download it. I would suggest if you're posting on social media, download it as a PNG file. It just has the cleanest, crispest look to it. You can also do things like create videos out of these posts. I don't know how well this one's going to work, but I'll try it anyway. So this creates little animation videos that you could use on your website. I don't know. Let me try that again. Yeah, that you can use on your website, or you can use on your social media page, where again, it just adds a little bit more flair to your brand. There's tons and tons and tons of stuff you can do with Canva. We could have a 4-hour seminar on this thing. But what I want you guys to take away is it's super easy to create multiple posts, go in and duplicate them. Again, edit the images, however you want to do it. You can do this for flyers that you want to hand out in your store. You can do this again for Instagram. You can do this for your web graphics. One of the things we do for some of our clients is we create Canva templates for their e-commerce store so that all of their pictures on their e-commerce store are all the same size. A lot of websites you'll see they put pictures on that are different sizes and their layout gets all funky and things don't look pretty. You can very easily in Canva go in and create this template for your products, drop your product into the square block, export it. Now you know all of your images are the same size. So guys, this tool, again, I would really encourage you to try it out. It is invaluable in terms of creating content in a quick and effective manner. And so the free version, Sean, are you back?
Well, I'm going to try to limit it, but we have a question.
I can't. Oh, okay. What's the question? I can grab it. The one from Chrissy? Yes. Okay. So does all of this work the same when using Canva from your iPhone? I don't know if all of it works the same, but most of it does. They've dramatically increased the capability of their app. They have an app now that you can download, and it works pretty well. To be honest with you, I don't use it on my phone a whole lot, but when I have had to, the most recent app that I used probably within the last 30 days, it will do the vast majority of this stuff as well. So yeah, good question. You can do this on mobile as well. And you can put posts together very, very, very quickly. If you're posting on Instagram, using the app is probably a good idea, just because you're going to be posting from your phone. We use a tool that we schedule all our posts through, so we don't often post just direct from our phones to Instagram. But if you are, yes, definitely use the mobile version. Good question. I want to show you guys one other thing, and that's just I want to dig into the paid versus free version of Canva. Now, again, full disclosure, we were using the free version of Canva for a very long time. I was using the free version of Canva for a very long time. We're on the paid version now, and there's value there if you have a team, but definitely get started with the free version. I'll tell you why we use it. It has this really cool tool where we can, got to pull it up here again, where we can go in, and if I wanted to change the color of something to match our brand colors, it will save the brand colors for you. So I can very easily go in and brand all of this in a very, very, very quick way to match up with our brand colors. So that's the primary reason that we use the free version. The other thing, the paid version. The other thing we get out of the paid version is all the images for free, and all of the templates are included. I said for free, but we're using the paid version, so it's not actually free. Whereas you'll see if you don't have the paid version, a lot of these guys like this one will have like pro on it. So you have to pay for any of these images that have pro on them. Now, that being said, you still have thousands of images to choose from, and you can also use other services like Pixabay and some other third-party image providers. If you want to still use free images with Canva, you can drop them in here. It's not a problem at all. So that's kind of how we use Canva. In terms of organizing the information, another thing I like about it is I can create a new board. So if I go back here, I can create a new board for example, my Facebook posts. And now this is a different size image, and I can do the same thing, right? I can go down here and do learn how to cook. I definitely need that course. Now I can create this whole log of Facebook posts as well. Same idea. I can go in and create different templates, and I can create all these Facebook posts. But now my Facebook sized posts and my Instagram sized posts are in two separate kind of documents that I can go in and add new ones and edit them individually. So one of the things that is a little bit of a pain is that if I want to take a post and create it for Facebook and Instagram, and I want them to be sized for those platforms, you can have to duplicate the post. The way we do it, honestly, is if we create it for Instagram, because Instagram is much more finicky about image size. And so we create it for Instagram and just post the square image on Facebook. And that works well if you really want to just create a post once and post it two places. So overall, guys, the tool is super easy to use. I can't show you all the features in the time that we have, but what I really, really, really want you guys to do is dive into the platform, use it, create some content. We're gonna watch some of your content over the next week or so and see if you guys are using Canva. If you need help, if you have questions, reach out and ask us. We would love to dive in deeper with your specific questions. But again, if you're creating content for social media or for your website or for print, there's no reason at this point you shouldn't be using Canva. The only caveat is if you have a graphic designer, use a graphic designer, right? I love graphic designers. I'm all about using ones when the time is right. If you don't have the budget for that, then by all means use Canva. One other thing I'm going to add about Canva is they will actually print for you as well. You can they will print physical cards, documents, whatever, and ship them to you. That's a relatively new feature that they've added. So that's something that you can do as well if you're looking for print. We like to use local printers, so we typically design it in Canva and send it to a local printer, but you can use Canva's print as well. Chrissy, another question with pricing. I went to the page, but I didn't actually talk about it. So if you they do per user pricing. So for big teams, this can get expensive. But they do per user pricing. So it's if you pay it yearly, I hate that people do their pricing like this, but everyone's doing it now. If you pay it, I'm going to say it the obvious way first. If you pay it monthly, it's $12.95 a month for the pro plan. The enterprise plan is, $30 a month. I don't think anybody on the call at the moment needs it. What that is really for is if you have a team where you want to create posts and have them approved by a team, you can do that. So it's really $12.95 a month per user, or if you pay in advance, if you want to pay the year in advance, it's discounted. It's down to $9.95 a month if you pay the full year in advance. So guys, seriously, jump into Canva, try it out. The account's free. There's no reason that you shouldn't be using it. It'll add some uniformity to your social media posts. It will add some creativity to your social media posts. Take some time to dig through the templates, search through the images, get some ideas on how to use it to create content for your business. Play around with it. It's free, right? Play around with it. It costs you some time. I promise it's going to be worth it if you really use it in the end. So I really hope you guys will dig into it. It's one of the most powerful tools that we use on a consistent basis. And again, nobody's creating enough online content, ourselves included. So we need to dive into it a little more as well. But I hope you'll come along on that journey with us. And if there's a lot of interest, I don't know, we've talked about this, we might do a Canva workshop if people really want to dive into it. I would much rather you guys dive into it on your own and see what you can figure out. But if people are really getting stuck, we may do that as well. So guys, thanks for putting up with just me today. I didn't have the joy of having Sean join me the entire time. So I apologize. I'm a little more boring than he is, but I hope this was helpful. And we hope to see you on Friday at 9 a.m. Again, we're here every Tuesday and Friday, 9 a.m. Caffeinated Q&A with Ghost Creative. You can find us online if you have any questions, and sign up for the email list at ghostcreative.com/live. I hope to see you guys Friday. Have a great week.